I got into tattooing pretty much on a whim. I didn't even really want to start tattooing. I thought tattooing was something that was a whole different facet of art. Like I didn't think that I could actually do blood and ink and needles and skin. I got inspired by actually one of my fellow artists who was an artist back then. He had just started working. And ultimately it was just the fact that around that time, it wasn't many black tattoo artists that were out. And in Chicago, if you wanted to get a good tattoo, you have to go to some shops up north. So, and we couldn't get apprenticeships or nothing. So it was the fact that like, all right, well, let me try my hand at it, because if everybody's accepting this artwork, which I think, you know what I mean, is mediocre, let me try my hand at it. I didn't have the money to even get a kit at first. And then the day that I was gonna get a kit, I had asked my sister, you know, would she help me get a kit? And she was like, I'll do it if you're gonna really do it. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do it. Probably about a week later after she passed, I gathered up some money and I went and got me a kit, and I hit the ground running trying to keep a promise. I never even thought like how I would have to go into different tones of skin and different skin pigments, because you'll see with the magazines where, so when you're looking at one to tattoo, it's like, oh man, I want to do this, I want to do that. But it was predominantly white skin pictures in magazines. So when it got to, okay, I want to sit down and do it, let me start on my friends, predominantly black skin. Let me start on the clients who would be coming once they see some of my work. It got to a point to where I think my first maybe 6 months, I had never tattooed on any white or lighter skin. I can see a tattoo with great detail from over 10 feet away on someone with white skin or with lighter skin. But on a black person or someone darker, you'll barely be able to see it even up close if it's not even applied right with the right contrast. So through some of my mentors and through a lot of my teachings, you know, one of my biggest mentors, Maya Bailey and Seven Crowley, you know, they were deeply into already tattooing black skin for 20 years already. And even one big thing that helped me along my way was I did a documentary, Color Outside the Lines, with a bunch of different artists. And one of the artists was predominantly white tattooer, a guy named Brandon Bond. And he was saying how he had to tattoo so much black skin, and the way that he tattooed that was changing the contrast to it, having a more zoomed in focus, taking out half of the details and lines and making it so it's more visible more than 5 feet away. You know, a lot of things I have to tell people when they want to have color, they'll bring me a picture of a very bright and vibrant color floral tattoo that's on a white arm. And to think, well, this is what I want. Off the top, I gotta let them know, like, that's what you want, and we can make it look great for your skin, but it's not gonna look like that. So what you have to know and realize is that you are not that, it's not gonna look like that. On that white palette, it's not gonna look the same on your brown melanated palette. Done with the right technique, it can look amazing. You know, it can look amazing, it can have the right contrast, it can have the right brightness to it. It just has to be done and trusted by an artist who is, you know, particular in doing that. I had to learn that over the way. I never even knew how to mix the colors to make things look different on black skin. You know, we've created over the last 10 to 15 years a whole different demographic of color that can be applied on this black skin and heal greatly and look great over time, as opposed to fading and doing what is different. A lot of people don't understand that the times have changed a lot in art in the last 20 years and tremendously in the last 10 to 5 years. Now you can see something every day on Instagram that is a step above what was going on in tattooing yesterday. Tattooing grew as a boom, you know, in the early 2000s because of rappers and athletes. And these were the only people that could afford it back then. And when you do that and you put that look out there, now you got people at a mass level want to have that look, and they ain't got the money for that look. Yeah, you want a sleeve, so the demand is up like crazy. So now everybody else who feel like, well, I can make some money and do him a sleeve for $200-300 and do a bunch of sleeves for $200-300, make some money. Now you have unskilled people who are untrained that pick it up. Before you picked up that tattoo machine, you might have tried to win and get an apprenticeship like I did in the hood. But it, you know what I mean, predominantly I wasn't gonna get an apprenticeship at a white shop. It just wasn't gonna happen. So I was left to have to pick it up. And when you have the masses of black and urban people picking up tattoo machines and putting out low quality work, you make the professionals, which is predominantly white, step away from that black crowd and that black industry. Like, you know what, y'all stay over there. Y'all stay over there because y'all put out bad work. Y'all don't mind putting out bad work. Y'all never took the time to learn it, but we only would have learned it in accepted apprenticeships and accepted tattoo shops. But since you don't, you leave them to fend for themselves, and then they say, all right, well, black artists just ain't good. I don't deny any color. You know, I've come and studied some artists that use all colors in the color palette on darker brown and black skin, and it's come out great. You know, it's once you've applied the technique. I've had to go and spend my time and go to tattoo conferences and learn from Guy Aitchison and Alex DePasse, people who are on the other side of the world creating amazing art, and learn their techniques from them. You know, sitting here, Nico Hurtado say and show what he's doing in an 8-hour class, you know, to realize and apply that to what I learned in the street, to what I learned by trial and error. So once you put the time into learning or sitting and learning from somebody with that same notion, if you study and learn it, you know, a good friend of mine and mentor, his name is Pooch, and he tattoos alongside Steve Butcher, who is one of the most amazing, you know, color portraiture artists, and they tattoo side by side, and Pooch has learned this technique. He tattoos along with Roman, and he's learned these techniques to be able to apply them on black skin, white skin, and it's not a blockade to say, hey, you can't learn this, you can't do it. If you sit the time down to learn it, you know what I mean? I'm working with Pooch this weekend, and I'm about to learn something from a master of arts, you know what I mean? So to take that time and learn, it's about respecting the craft. And I got people who want me in Africa, and I'm not going to Africa with the notion that I'm tattooing only white skin. And there's some people who are amazing, who are probably wanted in Africa, but they have not taken the time to try to learn how to tattoo darker skin and be able to have that experience. They stay away from, you can go to some places and they tell you, as a white person, don't even come and get tattooed if you got a tan, because they don't know how to have it, or they don't want to, you know, oversaturate something, or even, you know, dumb down what they think they can do at an easy level. And I can never say I'm great. I can never say I'm good. I can never act as if I'm better than somebody else. I can never act as if I'm accomplished when there's something to learn each and every day. I just want people to know, like, hey man, I fought hard to be where I am, to be noticed and notarized as a black tattoo artist, shop owner, and, you know, I mean, just overall artist, you know, and that's not easy with I stepped into an industry that people have been tattooing 20, 30 years already. People looking at me like, dang, why you charging that much? Or what you trying to tell me that for? Why you telling me that? Like, I'm letting you know what this is. You know, I'm not just gonna continue to put names and hearts and stars on you. You know what I mean? We're gonna do something that is artwork. I tattoo what inspires me artistically. I let everything else pass me by. And then back then it's like, why you ain't gonna do that? I got the money. I didn't care about the money. You know, I cared about putting out the good artwork and making it happen. I cared about putting out the good artwork and making people understand, but I had to stick to that. People didn't want to hear that back then. You know, 10 years ago, nobody wanted to hear why this was this, or, you know, it was, you know, I didn't even let people use slang with me. Like, it ain't called a tat, it's called a tattoo. I didn't need a nickname for a tattoo. Respect what the craft is, respect what the industry is, and call it a tattoo. And I would just say, if anybody, never give up, because, you know, I never saw myself being at a level of expansion to where people come to my shop every day from around the world to come be tattooed by me when nobody's obligated to support you at all. Nobody has to get tattooed by you. Nobody has to watch your show or read about you in the magazine. Nobody has to come see you and appreciate what you put out. You know, they can go around the corner. You know, so I'm honored by that. And to me, it's all because of hard work and because I won't stop working hard. So anybody who is just starting out or who wants to get to that next level, try to outwork me, or at least try to outwork what you admire. That's what I did.